So I'll read you a little bit of it, but you can't buy it. But you can like pre-order it, or you can come to my reading on November the 15th and buy it there. To start anew is to entertain the possibility it ever really stops, that there are beginnings, middles and ends, a little like in a book or when you go to a film, and during the film it is awfully hard not to notice the effect the projector has on the outline of the woman's hair in the row in front, and after the show you all go for an ice cream and everything is happening all at once. Summer and someone's singing on the radio in the street, and up the road something gulps. It is Tuesday, same as last week. I knew he was waiting for me to make the first move, but I couldn't. It was as if the life went out of me like beads sluicing out of a broken rain. Stick around a little and they might open the gates and let us in. They don't want a load of away fans milling around outside the ground. Easier to have us all in one place where they can keep an eye on us. They used to have these trains, the football specials, similar idea. Contain the trouble and hope it burns outrage at the behaviour of a tiny minority whose shameful antics have brought their club's name into disrepute, will not be allowed to interfere with the ongoing consultation which is currently underway, and is hoped will shed light on exactly which of my honourable friends is to lead the working group set up to corroborate the findings of the expert panel discussion, followed by an open format, bring-a-bag luncheon, meet and networking opportunity. An alternative programme has been thrown together at the last minute to accommodate spouses, partners or emotional support aides. So last year, give a man a fish and you have fed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and he can feed you for far less than it would normally cost you. Plus, every time he runs out of tackle, you can sell him some more. It's a win-win situation if ever there was. One objection, Your Honour. What if the sea is so full of pollution the fish are all floating belly up? Then you wouldn't even need to teach a man to fish, and you have taught him to fish. Instill in a man the value that makes our island race a proud island race of fishermen, and you are 9/10 of the way to miscegenation. Before you even know it, a rabbit's white tail is suggesting a direction, or a songbird's warble is our only. Hopefully some of the things we have learnt will still be true when it is time to settle down and pass stuff on to our children, and with any luck they will know us well enough not to bother if it isn't how you imagined your life. But after a while you can't go on forever as if this were a rehearsal. At some stage you need to stop ironing, sweeping and moving furniture around, and either accept that the house will look messier than you'd have liked, or else cancel the dinner completely and watch the televised opera instead. Don Giovanni getting his comeuppance in the end of the Holocene, and no one is doing land art. Any more income means a higher rate of tax and a wider fiscal surface, so the more you bring in the door, the more goes out, until you reach a point of perfect equipoise, where you give as good as you get. In Arcadia, ego says yes, they say no, and it says hell knows what it says. Soil fertility from the tropics, smuggled north, disguised as coffee, and the grounds end up in my neighbour's window. Box 1 has 1, box 2 1, box 3 2, box 4 3, box 5 5, box 6 8, and so on and so forth. But the whole shebang would never kick off without the existence of a zero, and looking around at all of this, it seems hard to swallows cross the sky and vanish, moving from life through our vision to life. Apricot trees exist, chicory and nights in June, but how can nothing exist? Stupid idea, dreamed up by a publisher looking to sell fewer books of fewer pages for a higher cover price. Exists because of my steaming bath, and my bath isn't a negative for washing away of what the butler saw, but a state of being in itself is okay, but becoming something else is better. Ask the family doctor if he can do anything about your family, or if it's just how evolution goes. That we carry memories around inside us like vestigial tails or phantom limbs or sequences of Neanderthal DNA. Any experiment we could devise would be compromised by your presence in it as both scientist and rat. And ultimately, do we want to know where each of us stops and the other starts, or would we rather carry on where we were, looking side to side, but moving forward in the main? Stay where you are, says the officer, and I burst out laughing. Stay where you are yourself, you prickety scaffolding is shifting in the wind. A tarpaulin flaps as the first drops of rain fleck against your face. It looks like being one mother of a storm. It looks like it was the Romanians or the Jews. Situation is unsustainable rate of antibiotic use of proceeds is an area where we would appreciate a little more clarity before we consider putting this in front of our front office teeming with lice and caterpillar eggs. If I were you, I'd chuck it all out and start a fresh sheet. This one's written all over subscribed, but if you leave your name we can put you on the waiting list and my assistant can let you know if there is space. For now, forget about it. Try and focus on the task at hand. I've noticed this tendency you have to let your attention wander. It's not a handicap as such, but undeniably it is something that needs to be addressed if you're planning on actually entering the workforce, or if you're lying in bed listening to something's out there. I can hear it rooting around the darkening garden.